Why were 80s personal computer manuals so confusing? Imagine trying to learn a new language without any classes or tutors. That's what using a personal computer manual in the 1980s was like. Back then, computers like the IBM personal computer and Apple Roman II were still new and exciting, but also pretty complicated. The manuals had to explain a lot of unfamiliar stuff to people who had never used a computer before. Unlike today's guides with pictures and simple steps, these manuals were mostly text and packed with technical details. They explained how to turn on the machine, load programs, and even write code in programming languages like BASIC. Because the computers operated through command line interfaces, users had to type exact commands to do anything. There were no icons or drag and drop features like today. If you wanted to save a file or run a program, you needed to know the right command, the right syntax, and sometimes even the line number to jump to. The manuals had to include all this information, which made them look dense and intimidating. They often looked more like technical manuals than user guides. The hardware of the time also played a big part in the confusion. Early personal computers had very limited memory, often only a few kilobytes or a few hundred kilobytes. They couldn't support the fancy graphics or user-friendly interfaces we're used to now. Instead, users had to type commands very carefully, because even a small mistake could cause errors or crashes. The manuals had to teach users how to troubleshoot these issues step by step, which added to the complexity. Another reason was the culture of early personal computing. Many users were hobbyists or tech enthusiasts who liked to tinker and experiment. The manuals often encouraged users to write their own programs in BASIC, which meant typing in lines of code one by one. They explained concepts like line numbers and commands, such as go to, which was very different from just clicking icons. This hands-on approach made the manuals seem more like textbooks than simple instructions. Looking back, these manuals reflected a time when computers were still a new frontier. They weren't just about using a device, they were about learning how it worked. The confusion was part of the adventure. These guides helped a whole generation of early computer users understand the basics of programming and hardware. Even if they seemed overwhelming, they laid the foundation for the more user-friendly technology we enjoy today.